Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. We do have Kelly Cook with us here today and a special guest. So how are both of you doing today? Kelly, I know you're probably doing fantastic, right? Do I even need to ask?
How'd you guess? Yes, I'm doing well.
I want to know, Tee, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well myself, thank you.
She's doing well.
Excited to be here.
She's excited to be here. We have kind of a mantra on this podcast that it's always a great day if you make it a great day. So hopefully you're feeling that. You're feeling great. We're all doing good. Today, we're going to talk to Tee a little bit here. She is a transaction manager over at Cook & Associates, works very closely with Kelly. And we're going to kind of talk about, her role, what she does, why it is so important. As we all know, unless you're a solo agent running everything by yourself, but behind every great team and successful agent, there has to be somebody in the background that's not always necessarily the star of the show, right? But that is just as integral to running everything and making that success become reality. So that's what we're going to get into today. Kelly and I discussed this is something that we haven't really, while it's such an important part of real estate and kind of building your team out, this is something that we haven't really focused on before. So we're excited to have you, Tee.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Tee, obviously I know you pretty well, but our listeners don't. So we're going to change that today. But I think that a lot of people don't talk about the back end, right? The transaction coordination, because, it's not the first thing obviously that comes to your mind. And if you don't have, I guess a client or any business to begin with, that's like step one. You got to get that. Otherwise you don't have any coordination to do on a transaction. But when you do have, business and a lot of it, you need somebody that really, or you should have somebody that's a specialist in what they do. And it's just going to make the client experience that much better, because we all know in business, right? I mean, we're running businesses. I don't care if you're a solo agent or some huge team or whatever, but you're running a business. And we all know that every single business in America, for the most part, runs on a model that's somewhat similar, right? Like you have people who specialize in certain things. So why the real estate industry ran differently with, Susie Q doing everything, the chief negotiator, the chief marketer, chief transaction manager. I have no idea, but that's how it went, right? But that's changing now, and it's been changing for the last decade pretty rapidly. So Tee, the question I have for you is, from a transaction coordination standpoint, especially like what is it primarily, and what makes it a great experience for somebody to? Well, let me back up. I don't want to ask that question. I want to ask just what is it in general, in your opinion?
My opinion, transaction coordination, it can be as simple as someone being there to help you with your compliance, getting all your paperwork, everything kind of together for your file. But here on our team, we take it a lot of steps further than that and provide a 5-star customer experience for our agents so that they can pass their transaction to me, know it's in good and safe hands, and they can continue to go out there and sell real estate, whether that be, going on more appointments, on open houses, or door knocking, whatever it is that they need to do to obtain new business. They're focusing on that, and know that their current deals that are in escrow are being taken care of by myself.
Okay. So it's a lot more than just broker compliance, right? Like I think everyone thinks it's just, it's broker compliance, transaction coordination. I can do that myself. And I guess some people, they can't, right? Somebody just can. If they want to, they could do that. And if you're only closing a couple deals a year, that's probably fairly easy to do. I know a lot of people, sometimes they know it's work and it has to be done. But maybe if you're not naturally sales oriented, or if you're just starting to make excuses for yourself, right? You're going to say, I'm going to be busy doing some of that stuff. But the reality is it's not helping you, push the ball forward down the field to achieve your goal. So why do you think, and you kind of hit on it, but why do you think agents should choose to hire somebody else besides themselves to actually help them with the transaction coordination?
Again, I think it truly comes down to if an agent is looking to succeed in the real estate world, to have someone that they can know and trust with their files, so they can go on and focus on obtaining new business. If you're caught up in the paperwork or what's going on in the current transaction, you're taking away that time away from, again, lead generating and focusing on what's next. I think that's the point. I mean, I think that's the biggest critical point. If you're looking just to do this for a couple of years in real estate, which I think if you got into it, that's probably not what your goal is. You want to obtain more and double, triple your business. You're not going to be able to do that because this will hold you back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're totally right. The amount of time that it takes to do it the correct way, it's quite a bit. It's not just like, oh, let me press the upload button a couple of times, right, and we're good. If you want to do it the right way. So, other question I have for you then is what makes maybe a good transaction coordinator? Like looking for somebody to hire because they don't live in maybe Arizona or whatever. What makes a good transaction coordinator? What are some things they should be looking for in that individual and the process, right, to help make their life easier when it comes to closing files?
For a transaction coordinator, I think the biggest thing is you need to be able to have someone you can rely on, trust, and that's communicative. You can work a file from, I think, anywhere around the world, really, as long as you know the contracts, what to do. So I think experience does take a big play also into having that transaction coordinator to support you. Knowing contracts rules is super important. One wrong word on a contract or an addendum can change an entire meaning of maybe what you were trying to imply. And it could be compromising your client in that sense. And the biggest thing, of course, is our duty to our clients, and having someone that understands that that is going to go beyond to not only run your transactions, but is going to be keeping an eye to protect you and as well in turn protecting your client, I think is huge.
I totally agree. We can get in a lot of trouble, right, if you don't do a contract the correct way. Like they're called commission ectomies, right? Nobody wants that. And the reality is it doesn't look good to your client as well. And so you need somebody, like I said, they can trust. I totally agree with that. And so I think we all agree that having someone that you can trust is huge, but obviously competent to know how to do things. And then here's the thing: at the end of the day, as an agent, you really need to the buck stops with you, right? So you really need to make sure that you either trust somebody explicitly or you ask them to prepare everything. But you may want to take a look at some things here before the submit button is sent, right? Or that sort of thing, right? Because it is still your duty as the agent to make sure that you are making sure those T's are crossed the right way, so to speak, right? And those I's are dotted the right way. So, all right. So question, what are a couple things that you do, currently that you think is above and beyond, knowing what a lot of people out there, a lot of transaction coordinators, other coordinators on teams or not in teams, whatever, with what they provide? What are some things that you do that are above and beyond that you are aware of?
I would say one thing is that I hear from different agents that maybe have joined our team or from outside of our team. One thing that's biggest difference is, besides just opening escrow, getting docs to where they need to go, or again in broker compliance, it's I actually take the time to build a relationship with their clients as well, so that they know their clients get sometimes for sure a weekly touch, if not more, sometimes 2 to 3 times a week, especially if we're currently in escrow. So that way, again, while you're out there selling real estate, if your client needs help, has a question on one of their files, they have me to go to. So that takes off that worry that agent has. And their client has built enough rapport and a relationship with me that they know that I'm the next point of contact to answer any questions along the way, ensuring that they are receiving that 5-star customer experience by asking them that specific question, and going out of my way to ensure that no matter what through the process, they are receiving that, so I can earn a referral for that agent as well.
Okay, so guys, grasp that for a second, right? Because Tee does a really good job of this, by the way. I think a lot of people think, number one, that transaction coordinators are just going to, file some paperwork and that sort of thing, broker compliance, and then that's it. And they don't have a personality. They don't like to talk to people, right? They want to be like in some cubicle and on a spreadsheet, and that's it all day long, right? And that's not the case. As you can see, Tee, right? CT, actually has a great personality, and she loves to talk to people and is very good at it. She gets compliments all the time from our clients. I know specifically about how well she does on the phone, because she comes off as very caring, right? Very caring and is genuine, because she wants to see people have a great experience when buying and selling a house, and she wants to see the agent lifted up to do a good job, and the clients are hopefully happy with them for that. But I don't want you to miss that. So what we do on our team is every single week on a Friday, typically, Tee actually calls the agent, or excuse me, not the agent, the client. Tee calls the client and asks them how they're doing. Of course, the small talk that you got to do, and then with that conversation, she's going to ask them on a scale of 1 to 5, because there's a 5-star review system out there with Google and Facebook and Zillow and everybody. How would you rate us, our job performance this past week? And it's this past week because we're calling on a weekly basis. So we're doing that because we really want our clients to know that we are doing things behind the scene, and to know that we have their best interests at heart. And we want to see them reach their goals and be extremely happy with us, because that's the long game, guys, right? Making sure you do a job for a client one by one, that's the long game. And so she does a great job of doing that, because let's be honest, guys, sometimes as agents, we don't always remember to call our clients on a weekly basis, right? To check in, especially when the house is not selling, right? We're like, I don't want to call that guy. He's going to yell at me. So Tee does. And sometimes she gets yelled at, but most of the time that's rare, because she's able to diffuse a lot of that if there is any issues. But the reality is when you're calling on a weekly basis from the get-go, people typically aren't going to be that mad, because they know the call's coming. They know they have a time and place to vent, right? And if they have something that's bothering them. So it really works out well. She does a great job of that. So I appreciate you saying that, Tee.
I think it's interesting. I just want to point out that, she said, I'm doing all of this so that the clients are taken care of, all of that stuff, and to earn a referral for the agent. I think that that's also an important piece to keep in mind, that you have that, like, as an agent, it's, of course, you're the one, kind of the main one building the relationship, but you also have somebody else kind of on the back end trying to bring you new business, not just taking care of your current business that you have going on, but actually adding another layer to bring you new business. I think that's really awesome. Like, in a new way to look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, guys, if you're on a team right now, a real estate team as an agent, and no one is supporting you, trying to third party lift you up or sell you, if you will, to your clients to help build a relationship, to help potentially build your business through referrals, then you're missing the boat, guys. And I would highly recommend to ask someone on their team to help implement that system, or maybe you have to go to a different team that already has it or will implement that system, guys, because that is huge. There's no better way to build your business than through referrals. And you get those because you're doing a phenomenal job, and your team that's supporting you is also has really high talented people that are also supporting you and doing a phenomenal job. So I definitely think that's awesome. All right. So Tee, so taking that one step further, there's now the offering of the ability to go to other agents outside of our team, right? And offer the transaction coordination service, right? We started a new little venture here, trying to get Tee out there to more and more people.
Yes, we did. And it goes beyond just TC services. We're also offering listing coordination as well as if you are busy out there, you got an appointment to run and go do, but you need a contract written. That's something that we'll also be providing as well. And I think that's super huge, super different, that you don't see a lot of TC services offering, is even helping you on that end with getting your contracts written.
Totally agree. And that helps out too. That takes time, right? It takes time. And if you're hopefully doing multiple things, lead follow-up, you're maybe sitting open house, you're running to an appointment, you have these things that are like deadlines. You have to be certain places at certain times. Having someone to help you do those things is huge. And so, like Tee mentioned, we came out with a service called 5-star transaction coordination. And because we want to try to help you get 5-star reviews, right?
Yes.
By providing great service to the clients. So if you are someone like that and have questions about using Tee and her team on the transaction coordination side of the business, please reach out to us and we'll get the contact information here at the end here, but please reach out to us. We'd love to help. But again, 5-star transaction coordination. So awesome, Tee. All right. So what's the name of a book? 2 more questions for you, I think, right? What's the name of a book that you're currently reading?
I am reading the Bible. I haven't fully read it through yet ever in my life. So I'm on that journey. Started 2 months ago and still going through it, and super important to me, and focusing on that right now.
It's a long read.
It's a long read, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to ask, what book of the Bible right now are you currently in?
I'm in the Proverbs.
Oh, wisdom. Yep, I love it. I love the Proverbs. There's so much application in today's life. I mean, it's not even funny, right? Like it's if you guys got a chance, please read Proverbs, right, of the Bible. It's phenomenal. Okay, last question that we always ask all of our amazing guests is, I should say, what is one piece of advice that you could maybe give a real estate agent out there right now listening to take with them to implement in their business, let's say in the next week?
If you do not have a TC, you need to hire one today, and so reach out to me. Transactions@cookandassociatesaz.com. Let's push your business forward. You're only if you're thinking about it, you need to stop thinking and like take action today. It'll greatly increase your business, your client's experience with you. And if you want to move forward, it's what you have to do. If you want to double, triple your business ahead, you have to do it. It's not a question. It's a non-negotiable.
I love it. And don't make Tee mad, right? Listen to what she's saying. I love it. But honestly, it's really important you said that, because I think that we demonstrated in these podcasts over the years that it's a numbers game, and it's going to happen if you're doing the right activities and you're honest with yourself that you are. It's going to happen where you will have sales, you will have business, and plenty of it. And so you need to have someone in your corner to help you. The hard part is, well, let me rephrase that. The accountability of hiring a transaction coordinator too is awesome, because if you know you're not going to do your transaction coordination and you're going to pay someone else to do it even better than you could ever dream of doing it, then it's going to force you, or it should at least, to do the activities you as a sales agent is supposed to be doing, so that you are not, going to be obviously hurting as much financially, because if you're doing your activities, you won't be hurting financially. It will take a little bit of time, but you'll always get there, and the numbers will be there, the deals will be there, and the clients will definitely be there. So Elizabeth, what else do you have?
I mean, you got to leverage your time. I think we talk a lot about, although we haven't talked about transaction management and transaction coordination a lot on this podcast, we have talked a lot about leveraging your time, doing your activities, just as Kelly has said, time blocking and making sure that you're making your calls, you're hitting your goals, you're winning the morning, winning the day, winning the week, winning the year, right? And a large part of that is leveraging your time so that you actually can do all of those things. You're not getting bogged down with the things that aren't generating business. But kind of like I mentioned, that is another defense against or for generating business, because she's working to create referrals, right? So I think it's a win-win all the way across the board. But if you guys haven't already gone to visit buildyourrealestateteam.com, go ahead and go to that webpage, download the plan. It's Kelly's plan. And spoiler alert, one of the first, if not the first, but one of the first steps in there is to build yourself a support team, right? Is to actually get people. I don't know if transaction management's on the first thing, but building a support team so that you can go out there and do what you need to do, right? So make sure you go download that. And if you have any questions for Kelly or Tee, she already gave her email address. So rewind, go get that. Kelly, where can they reach out to you specifically?
Yeah, very much so the same, just a different part at the front. It's just Kelly at cookandassociatesaz.com. And of course, text me 480-227-2028 or call, your choice. I'll get back to you. Text is a little faster though.
Yeah, definitely. Because he's busy making calls, doing his activities. So text is a little easier. Right. Thanks so much, Tee, for being on here. This was great.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tee.
And Kelly, we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Yep. Elizabeth, see ya.
Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.